Hello, hello. Been a while since we've went into password. Just wait a sec. There we go. My voice shouldn't be too loud, right? I think it is. Fine. Anyways, it's been a while since we went into password, so yeah. So what was my file? My save file? The correct save file. Was it seriously there? I cannot remember. Yeah, day 16, that sounds good. I also still don't remember how long path B is. So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, there's no skip option, so I think that's correct. Anyways, so I opened my eyes and saw it was sometime early in the morning. I wasn't tired anymore though. Too distracted with my thoughts to rest. I was enveloped in warmth and the gentle glow from the internal heat Orlando had provided a dim night light to help me see. Wait, really? How does that work with Orlando? All things considered, he seemed to be sleeping soundly. Although, as I shifted, he frowned and reached out for me in his sleep. A gentle hand on his snout was enough to settle him. His hand falling limp to the bed now content I was still around. But that was partially the problem. I wanted to be around, but he kept pushing me away. Even so far as leaving without telling me why, and in turn leaving me feeling broken-hearted. Rolling out of bed, I put on some clothes. With everything going on, I needed to clear my mind, and I hoped. Hoped a walk would help. Oh, hoped. Yeah, whatever. Reading is hard, as always. Carefully, I wandered downstairs with my hands in my pockets, quietly in case someone was around. Or maybe it was because I was listening out for anything else that might be wrong. In the middle of the foyer, I looked around, and all I could hear was the faint white noise that came with absolute silence. I checked the air next, breathing in deep through my nose. Nothing out of the ordinary. The lingering smell of food from the kitchen, Benson somewhere nearby, but that's about it. Sighing out, I wandered towards the back door and placed my hands carefully on it to look out the window. The world was still, and I could see Benson standing in the middle of the back deck, looking out at the woods. Easing open the door, I peeked around it, using it as a barrier while I tried to get Benson's attention. You're doing a poor job of being subtle, Dave. But no need to be afraid. There's nothing but us out here right now. Alright. I stayed by the door just in case, but was now solidly outside for the first time since since being out in the woods. How did, As expected, there hasn't been anything of note. Just a quiet night with my thoughts. I'm assuming that your thoughts are what's keeping you up? No, I slept, but yeah. I guess with everything going on, I just... Sighing out, I wandered a little closer, scratching my arm. This was meant to be a vacation. You know, something fun. But now I'm just... Well, I've broken down and I've broken down and cried, so that's... Okay, maybe that was a good thing, but the road blowing up? Yes, that is something that troubles me as well. Not in that our escape method is cut off, but for whoever blew it up in the first place as well. Huh. There's no other way off the mountain? Unless some new way has been invented. I see no means of to land aircraft on the mountain either. Not enough level terrain or wide enough space. Well, shy of the area around the mill, but trust that Oswin and I would have noticed the helicopter. I've got a counter argument to that. I know that helicopters can like drop down like a ladder that you can climb on, meaning that you don't necessarily need the space to land the helicopter, because the helicopter can just pull down a ladder that you can climb. So it's still not out of question. Benson's gaze went dark, almost vacant as he said Oswin's name, falling deathly silent. I didn't know how to respond or what to do, so I just stood there quietly until he spoke again. I suppose he wouldn't notice a helicopter hold up in his laboratory anyway, would he, my boy? I guess not, no. He flashed me a quick smile before looking back out at the woods with a sigh. I hope seeing his body hasn't scarred you in any way. No, but something else has though. Just... You know who killed him, right? Thanatos wasn't lying? He... was not. I know who killed Oswin, and I was fairly certain upon seeing how he was killed. And the murderer? You were about to say who it was back in the library, but... I suppose I was, but it shouldn't matter. Not now, anyway. Why wouldn't it matter? Because the person who killed Oswin, or at least who I accused of the deed, is now no longer a problem. You didn't kill them, did you? And if I did? Heavens, my boy. I thought I told you that avenging Oswin was my pound of flesh to retrieve. But killing is... I trailed off when Benson gave me a look. The irony hit me like a truck given what had happened to Oswin, and I clammed up, looking away. For future reference, I would rather the term neutralized. Trust that no other deaths by their hand shall come to pass. But who was it? How can you be so sure? Do you remember how I said the most important thing to Oswin was the family? Well, are you familiar of the relationship he and Florentia had held? No. Benson shook his head with a sigh, rubbing his eyes. In any case, it doesn't matter much anymore. But what I can assure you is that Oswin's assailant has been neutralized. You mean dead? No, I mean neutralize. Oswin's murderer is still among the living, but they will not be committing any more murders. I've ensured that personally. I gave him a funny look and backed up to the door inside again. Maybe it was just the lack of sleep, but I wasn't liking the idea that the murderer was still potentially around. You're not pleased with that explanation, I know. But what good am I without my word? Then, one last thing. Before I attempt to sleep again. Go on. Was Oswin's murderer one of my friends? You are playing with fire, Dave. If I were to answer in the affirmative, what would you do? Crusade against your group in the hopes of outing an assailant? But if they did, they must have a reason, have had a reason. But as far as I can tell, everyone's been normal. There's no one else here. I'm just so... I grumbled, running my hands hastily through my fur. What if I just shared a bed with them? Come on, Orlando is not the murderer. Orlando is not the murderer. Come on. Would you seriously suspect Orlando? No, Dave. How dare you? Would you... Yeah. Jeez, hold on. Would you love them any less? Huh? Say you shared a bed with Oswin's murderer. What then? What would you do? I don't know. If I knew then, I guess I'd ask them why they did it. What answer would put you at ease? What they did it, that they did it for a noble reason, and that they fought the good fight? Maybe. It's just so, I don't know. How did you kill people for a living? How does that not bother you? I never said that it doesn't haunt me daily. Indeed, I've lost a lot of sleep over the sins I've committed. But rather than regale you with tales of my past, I'll put it simply. The one that killed Oswin would be no friend of yours, Dave. Ignorance is a bliss, as they say. But I want to know, Benson, who did it, or why? From his vest he pulled out a neatly folded piece of paper, carefully handing it over to me. This was something left for me in the event he died. Not necessarily a will, but an explanation of sorts. I scanned it once before reading it properly the second time. A lot of it was a long-winded apology, mostly about his shortcomings in life, and that he knew Benson expected better. But the most important part was the part that he reassured Benson about what was about to happen, that it was his choice. But the page ended before it seemed Oswin was done, as if there was a page missing. When did you get this? Shortly after we parted ways last night. I decided to prepare myself before going on watch. I stumbled across it, shall we say. Just this page? It seems like there should be more. I handed the letter back to Benson and he tucked it away again, neatly folding it without giving it another look. There was an additional page, but I have since disposed of it as per the instruction written on the page in question. That's suspicious. Just a more personal note Oswin left for me. How personal are we talking? Mostly affairs that he wished for me to keep up in his stead. Namely, keeping you all alive as best as I can, but also to remind you all that that scavenger hunt is still very much ongoing. He cared about that? Of all things, that was what he was worried about? Indeed, Oswin did not know the code to open the door. What? That's a lie. That's a lie? So perhaps continuing this little game will ensure that he lives to see it open in some other iteration of his life. That's a fucking lie. He knows the code to the vault. There's no freaking way that he doesn't know the code of the door to the vault. He built it himself. There's no way he wouldn't know. You believe his interpretation of the timeline things? Like, really? I believe that Oswin believed. Maybe in the wake of his brother and sister's influence, or after watching you. It's hard to say. But I'm not one to question the beliefs of the dead. But what's behind the door? You know, right? Or is it still meant to be a secret even with Oswin dead? Benson studied me carefully, almost as if he was yawning without opening his mouth. The tiredness in his face was apparent, but he nodded slowly. I'll answer this before I must usher you back to bed. The tiredness, it's starting to catch up on me. Sorry, but if this is all for something, then I gotta know. Behind the door is Oswin's greatest achievement, and his greatest failure. A second chance. I don't get it. A second chance at what? One could say life, and somewhat be correct, although that's not entirely true. Despite his one, if monumental failure, Oswin did succeed in creating something brilliant, but understood that such things should not be shared with the world. What I mean to say is that what Oswin hid from the world and locked behind multiple levels of security is something he dubbed the water of life. Like something to bring back the dead? To be honest, I don't rightly know, but he was scared of it and what it'd mean if it got out. And by the way, what he says he says that this is what's behind the vote. I call that bullshit, by the way. But if you could bring someone back, then why can't we just revive Oswin? Dave, do not joke lightly about the deceased. There is no telling if what he made could indeed do that. I'm not joking. We could bring him back, then you don't have to be sad, and... Benson's stare terrified me. A cold, almost murderous look that made me back down. The dead cannot be brought back, my boy. No matter how hard you may wish it, nothing can undo death. Now please, return to bed. Enjoy what rest you can for the next few hours before no doubt we'll all need to discuss what our next move shall be. I shrunk back against the door, opening it and slipping inside. Making my way back upstairs, I wandered to the bed I spent the night in. Almost as if I never left, I slipped under the covers and lay there on my back with my thoughts. Part of knowing what was behind the vault door had taken some of the mystery away, but at the same time, it had raised a bunch of questions that now no longer could be answered. What was so bad about what he'd made? Did it not work? Or was the problem that it did? Eventually sleep found me, if only for a little while, and the next thing I knew, I was waking up again. In the days I woke up and got out of the bed again. The few comments thrown my way I mumbled incoherently in reply to, but that seemed enough to get me by. I was still so tired, and I hoped I'd end up just passing out from exhaustion later just as an excuse to have a good rest. Hold on. Okay. It felt strange to want to just pass out with the danger just out of view, but someone else could worry for a little while in my place, right? Much like Benson had done already, but again... Most of us ran into each other on the stairs. The lot of us, a combination of tired, restless, and hungry. It was only at the mention of food that I felt my stomach grumble, and the thought of eating made me feel a little more normal. This was our routine now. Gathered together, someone would go into the kitchen to get food, and we'd eat and chat. Or at least it was. Now we were all just sitting at the table, unsure of what was meant to happen now. So, how did everyone sleep last night? Everyone's attention went to Dean, although no one replied immediately. That bad, huh? I didn't do too badly, all things considered. Could have been worse. It's not that, Dean. We're all kind of rattled. The road blowing up has certainly, what I mean is no one could have seen that coming. You never see it coming. Okay, no. I'm with you there. If the whole road is gone, then someone was planning on making sure that we couldn't get away. But we didn't do anything to anyone. At least I didn't. None of us did. This is just bad luck. I thought you all had the luck, Roswell. Shouldn't that, As much as I'd usually agree with you, I guess my luck just didn't pan out this time, Dave. Luck or no luck, what's the plan? Are we able to just wait until someone comes looking? Are we wandering down the main road? With the lunatic in the woods? No way we should go out there. Plus, do you know how long it'd take to get anywhere? Well, if we got to the main road, that should be fine, right? Hell, down a car, and we could hitchhike. Don't think that's gonna work. Too many of us, and we don't know just how bad the damage is, do we? One wrong move and we'd be in trouble. So, we're stuck, right? We're certain that we're stuck. I turned to the other three, seeing if they had anything to add. The moment I did, however, we're not stuck. Not if we accept that there is danger. But the woods, right? That's literally where the danger is. I think I get it. If they got into the woods, then they must have been able to get off if they set off the bomb, right? Yeah? Only place we haven't searched is the woods. Sal nodded quickly, shooting Dean a quick look. It's not a good idea, though. We could try going through the forest if worst comes to worst. I'm not going out there. Not until I can be sure I'm not gonna be chased by him again. Not even if we all went together? Dude, are you seriously suggesting safety in numbers? How the fuck is that going to work if we have no idea where we're going? It's not the best plan, or even the safest, but at least we have an option should things get to the point where we can't stay here. That's all well and good, but that doesn't help us figure out what to do now. Any luck with our phones? We all reached into our pockets and checked, but after a few moments, it was clear that whatever signal we had still wasn't available to us. So that's a no. Whatever happened with the landline idea? We all looked around for a while, with no one seemingly knowing the answer. Just as I was about to ask something else, I was distracted by the sound of Benson walking calmly towards the dining room. Apologies, everyone. Being up all night has taken its toll on me after all. At first I didn't notice anything different, not radically so anyway, but there were small things, like how he was kind of squinting, his posture wasn't as upright. As far as the landline, there isn't one to test. Both Oswin and I have personal cell phones, but that's about it. You don't have a landline at all? But why? Consider Oswin tendency to hide himself away. He wasn't the type to order a pizza out of convenience, my boy. Although part of that is likely due to the delivery range. He'd considered ordering pizza when there's a bunch of stuff already in the kitchen to make something much better. The convenience, maybe. Oh, not to imply that he wouldn't ask you nicely first, Benson. Benson just smiled, tired but remaining calm as he explained further. In any case, the only communication that could be done over any distance with our current problem would likely be a closed-circuit radio. Like a walkie-talkie? I suppose that could work, yes. Do we have any? I feel like that might be good for us to have access to. Alas, we do not. There is little reason to have something of the sort when there's only two of us, and one of us barely goes outside as it is. You can't stay up forever, Benson. What are we to do about keeping watch? Shy of just taking it in turns, but then relaying any danger might pose a problem if we're all separated. What about the dinner bell? The dinner bell? Oh, 'cause it's loud. Anyone in the house could hear it, right? It could work in a pinch. Should anything go awry, ring the bell and we'll assemble in the foyer? What if the foyer is dangerous? Heaven, my boy. Any given location can be dangerous. But this is as good as we're going to get, I'm afraid. But I don't see this as much of an issue if you stick to your partners. Partners? Oh, the scavenger hunt ones? It would save us going through the hassle of picking up groups again. On that note, there was one thing stipulated in Oswin's will that I must raise. He intends for you to continue the scavenger hunt. What? He can't be serious, can he? The fuck does he want us to do that for? We're in danger. When was this written? If he knows about the scavenger hunt... Wait, if he knew about the scavenger hunt, then he wrote this while we were here? If that's true, then how did you know it's not the fake? I can assure you I can recognize Oswin's handwriting. After all, his handwriting was atrocious. Wow. Okay, but did he say why? Who fucking cares? I thought this might be an issue. In which case, is there anything I can offer as an incentive to go along with Oswin's wishes? Shy of cold cash? Probably not. Tyson, you can't go saying that. If it's money you want, bleh. My god, I thought it was Dean. Wow, my bad. If it's money you want, then fine. I control those assets for the time being anyway, so I am agreeable to these terms. But you don't know how much Tyson's even thinking of. Truth be told, the number doesn't matter so much if we don't ensure our survival. Not to put a price tag on our lives, but if it's raw numbers that drives you to survive, then so be it. I don't know. This doesn't feel right to me. Far be it from me to restrict you to just money. If it's weapons or other such resources, I'm happy to oblige where I'm able. I think I'm with Dean on this. Something doesn't feel right. Dave, do you know what we could do with the amount of money we could ask for? I know, Ty, but... I looked around to the others, all seemingly deep in thought over the proposition. Roswell spoke first as he played with a spoon, brow furrowed. What bothers me is that we're still a long way off getting the whole set. That's true too. I don't even remember how many we found, but it's not many. If I recall correctly, we've only found like 2. Under the pumpkin and the very first one in the maze. We only found 2. May I see which ones you have found thus far? I guess we can take a couple minutes to go round them up. It'll give us a chance to get something in our stomachs too. How about Orlando and I get some breakfast going while Tyson and Sal go get the medals from whatever rooms they're sitting in? I mean, I'm fine with people going into my room, but... Tyson was already out the door, Sal quickly looking around at the others before chasing after him. It seemed the decision to get what they needed to, rooms be damned, had been decided. Dean and Orlando took the cue to head to the kitchen. The vague mentioning about scrambled eggs on toast being the only thing I caught of their conversation before they disappeared. The rest of us just waited. Minutes ticked by until eventually Sal and Tyson returned with medals in hand. Not long after Dean and Orlando had breakfast sorted and we lay out what we had to take stock. Benson scratched his chin and fiddled with his mustache as he looked at what we'd put before him. Not many is right, although I did not realize just how few had been found. What did you expect? I had no expectations going on this shy of the instruction to set you on the task. The fact that Roswell wanted to do something, wanted something to do, just lined up nicely. Well, hey, it's not like we've really known where to look. And with everything else going on, I guess it hasn't been too important. He picked up a medal and turned it over in hand, flashing a symbol on the front. Well, I can confirm this one is from the hedge maze. Orlando ended up finding that one. One of the easier ones that I set you to find, to be sure. Or at least I knew it was there adorning the statue found in the middle of the maze. Do you know where any of the others are? That'd make fulfilling Oswin's will a lot easier, at least. Come now. His will stipulated that you keep engaging with the game, not that it be finished. Not that it be finished. Truth be told, I would not be able to help you find much beyond Aquarius and perhaps Capricorn. Benson picked up the next medal and turned it over, smirking slightly. Taurus. Oh yeah, that one we found with the pumpkin. Under the pumpkin, more like. Under? In the soil? I kind of found it accidentally by almost tripping over it. Hey, Hey, I don't think anyone's complaining how you found it, accidents or otherwise. Wow, do you want me to be hurt? Screw you, Haas. Indeed, just as well that you all cleared out the pumpkin just to find it. Heavens know how long that one was planted there. The pumpkin or the meadow? Both. What? Setting down the meadow in hand, Benson looked to us and shook his head. While the set is mostly incomplete, I would urge you all to consider still fighting what meadows remain. But why? It can't be that important, really, can it? Oftentimes, keeping busy is a good distraction from worry. While I imagine your search will be restricted mostly to the manor, I'm sure there's at least another somewhere around here to find. That's bullshit. Well, there's not really an alternative, is there? Not until we figure out how to clear the way back home. And deal with Jack. Right. All things considered, how about I take first watch, so you can get some sleep, Benson? I shall only need a brief nap to be functional again, but if you can afford me a few hours, that shall be plenty. I'm not doing anything. Anything. Tag me in as well. Benson shot me a quick look before looking back at Dean. You know, taking turns or whatever. Yeah, of course. Only way we're getting through this is together. Renewed with our task to search for meadows, it seems as though there wasn't much else we could be doing until something developed as far as getting home. Breaking off into pairs, we left the dining room to begin our search. With our group set and something resembling a task under our belts, we ate what food we were in the mood for before splitting off. Following breakfast, I found myself wandering upstairs with Orlando, only to watch him collapse belly first into a beanbag. Are you okay? I'm fine. That's my line. I wandered closer as as I did, Orlando rolled over onto his back, sighing out. Well, I'm borrowing it for a bit. He stretched out but made no effort to get up, staring up at the ceiling. Back to the meadows again, huh? It seems that way. Any ideas on where we should start looking? If I'm being honest, I don't really care. Not anymore, at least. There's nothing that could be offered to me that could make me want to find them now. Back when it was a game, sure, but... For a brief moment, he clawed at the air, frustrated, then resolved to just groaning out and rubbing his face. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a downer. There's enough going on as it is. I sat down next to him on the floor and he moved so he could look at me without twisting his body. It's just... it sucks. Why do we have to find the meadows? Could we be doing literally anything else? But it's just those damn... Orlando, well, the meadows were meant to distract us from thinking too hard. Are things distracting you that much? No, well, maybe a little. But it's just so much to deal at once. I could be teaching you to cook, or giving you advice, or literally anything else. Well, alright. What's something else we could be doing? Screw the meadows then. How about we talk about you for a bit? Me? What? What specifically about me? How are you doing? How are you holding up? I mean, given you've probably had the worst of it of it out of all of us. Oh, well, I'm fine. Sorry, haven't given that back to you yet. That line's still unknown. Okay, I'm doing okay. Nah. What is going on? I'm just gonna check some. Okay, yeah, I'm still doing. Yeah, it's still fine. Wait, did I skip? Okay. I rested my back on my side, mimicking Orlando. Not great, but doing okay. It's strange, almost like I feel lighter somehow. Like I've let go of a lot of baggage, but in turn I've just started picking up more. All the stuff with the rabbit, and the road not being a way out. The vote. Right, yes. The vote. Speaking of, that thing you saw. Oh. I want to know what you saw, like, the details. We're long past trying to protect me because it's dangerous. We're all in danger. Dave, please. What good is that going to do? You've got enough to worry about. I just need to know. Maybe it'd give us a clue. Maybe it'd tell us something new rather than just waiting for what's going to happen next. There isn't much to tell you, honest. Look, why don't we talk about Dean instead? You like Dean, right? No, I like you. I like you. Because I don't want to talk about Dean. What? You've been doing more and this more and more, and I've had enough. Dean shouldn't be some go-to excuse you have when I just want to talk with my best friend. It's not. But it is. Why did you bring up Dean out of the blue right now? I don't know. It was just something to talk about. And you're sure it's not just because you're so intent on us hooking up? What the hell, Dave? It's not about that at all. I sat up and balled my fist on my knees, giving Orlando my best, most serious frown. But I think it is. I think you're just not wanting to talk because about the serious stuff because you're too afraid of something. I'm not. I'm not afraid of anything. Not even your dad? My dad can go to hell. Damn. I mean, I can't argue with that, but good luck. Then if it's not him, there's only one other person it could be. He didn't prompt me further, shifting so that he was sitting up and giving me a frown on his own. You're scared of me. He wasn't expecting it. Eyes going wide and his anger shattering into confusion. Or maybe it was worry. I couldn't quite tell. Sorry. Sorry about all the coughs, by the way. Your dad is the boss of the mafia. You've probably seen stuff that my dad protected me from every time he went to work. That's not true. But the moment it comes to me, you start to change the subject or freeze up. Why are you scared of me? I'm telling you, I'm not scared of you. Then what is it? It's because I love you. Oh. Okay. The confession. Hell yeah, the Dragon Boy loves us back. Yay, finally. Yes. The moment the words left his mouth, we both stiffened, leaning back from one another. As much as I tried to lock eyes with him, he quickly shifted his elsewhere. You love me. I I love you. There was nothing but silence between the two of us, but his confession trailing off into silence. Oh. What else was I to say to that? It felt lacking, but I was so blindsided I didn't know what to say or do. Sorry, that wasn't fair. Is it true though, that you love me? Maybe? Orlando, you can't just say something like that and then just give me a maybe. What I know is that the closer we get to this month ending, the more it hurts. The more that whatever this is, I reached out for his hand and he flinched, pulling away. I don't know what this feeling is. I just want it to stop. Then what can we do? How can I help? You can't. We can't. You know why I keep bringing up Dean? Because the moment I think that you're spoken for, and the sooner it happens, the easier all this becomes. I don't need to think about it. You're an idiot. Wow. I didn't know what to feel or what to say, but that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm an idiot. Don't say that. We're not too different. Not wanting to think about things. You should know that already. Your dad. And whatever this is. He seemed to sit there, limp and propped up only by the cushioning of the beanbag. His voice was quiet when he next spoke, barely looking at me. I'm an idiot. I don't know what to say about that. I would like to disagree with that. I don't want to say that he's an idiot. Don't say that. And why not? If I'm not allowed to be an idiot, neither are you. He grumbled, shooting me a look. But I am. We could go and ask Roswell, who scored better on the last couple of exams. I'm sure you did better than I did. That's different. Okay, that's getting funny now. You know a bunch of stuff in the kitchen, too, and games. All the times you've puzzled out on how they work, or how to beat a boss, or just... You seem to figure it out. I don't think an idiot could do that. Okay, fine. So, all this stuff we have going on, all the troubles and whatever, we can figure out that too. We have to. You're right. Question is, where to start? Okay, I think he liked that answer. I chuckled nervous, scratching the back of my neck. The only lead we have is what you saw in the vote, you know. Orlando lay back, placing his hands on his chest and playing with his fingers. The way his tail twitched hinted that he was bothered, but if anything, I took that as an indication that he was thinking about it. Dave? Yeah? I don't know what it was like for you, but it was scary. Almost like I was there. Really? At first I thought it was some kind of VR thing. Or like one of those sci-fi rooms you thought were neat, where it makes stuff real. That's different to what I had. For me, it was just like a vague recollection. Well, this was a lot closer to like lucid dreaming. The floor was dirty, and the place was dark. Wooden walls, a high ceiling. The place looked abandoned. Okay, that doesn't sound like anywhere in the house so far. I don't think it was this house at all. Benson keeps the place too tidy, plus those hooks. What specifically about them? Dave, are you sure you need to know about this? It's kind of making me sick a little. Please, just a little more. I told you how there was a bear there, I think, right? You said you weren't sure if it was Dean or not. Right, well, it was dark, so I couldn't tell, but he seemed to be chuckling or laughing about something, standing nearby to where you were, just there, hanging. So, was he dressed like Dean? Aside from being a bear, what reason do you have to think it'd be Dean? Pretty much. Hard to miss that flannel shirt, but it was torn up a whole bunch. A fight, maybe? You against Dean? I don't think you'd fare too well if he were to use his full strength. You're only a hyena. Hey, hyenas can do stuff, but I guess you're right. Was there anything else? It was dark. Let me think. He sat up suddenly, looking about the room before stating quietly one word. Roswell. He was with me. Wait, really? I think we discovered you together. Maybe. He was behind me, so that'd be my guess. This isn't giving me much. I told you, there's not much here to really help us. Well, it's giving me something at least. It has? What? When I was out in the woods, I ran into the rabbit. I found a watermill. Really run down, but mostly stone. Then underground there were large machines. Metal and more stone. Concrete, maybe. That doesn't sound safe. Maybe not, but it isn't wood. There weren't any hooks. It almost felt like it was something else. But whatever it was long since abandoned, I think. And if there's no wood, then that's not the place from your vision took place, yeah. But the other thing that worries me is like, where was Jack? Jack? The rabbit? Yeah, he wanted me dead. Or at least make an attempt at it. Why wasn't he there? I don't know. Maybe he killed you already and then left you there for us to find? And then Dean went mad? If that even was Dean? Orlando shrugged and I found myself trembling a little. Maybe it was the talk of my death finally sinking in now that we'd hit another roadblock. Dean wouldn't hurt me, I know that. But then the only reasonable explanation would be... I don't mean to be a downer, but are you sure he wouldn't? He's a big guy, and this whole situation is making us stressed out. I'm sure. Besides, there's something in my gut telling me that if there's one guy in the woods, well, would your dad send in just one guy to do a job? You've got me there. That was one thing Dad listened to Grandpa about. At least going into a job with someone else covering your back. Why do you think that is? I would have thought like dragons could just do whatever they wanted with the fire and stuff. We're not indestructible, Dave. It might be harder to do harm, but it's not impossible. Even then, not everyone in the family is a dragon. A fair few, but not all. Would your dad send a dragon with a rabbit all the way out there? I honestly don't know. He might have, he might not have. Maybe he sent a bear because of the woods, a wolf because Oswin's a boar, who knows? I thought he went a rabbit because of Oswin. You know, that's probably true given how he reacted. Carefully, Orlando reached over and touched my chest, his palm pressed firm but gentle against it. I don't know what's going to happen next, Dave, but when you went wandering into the woods that day, I started to think that the next time I saw you would be impaled through the neck. I quivered under his touch, and I could feel his tremble run through his arm into me. His voice lowered again, timid. If it's not the watermill, and it's not this house, then it's somewhere we haven't been yet. That almost sounds like you're planning on finding it. No, just if we're in the house, we can relax a little. If we're just in the surrounding area, the only thing we need to worry about is that rabbit and nothing else for now. Well, that's... Orlando pulled his hand away and rubbed his eyes, a smile slowly forming on his face. Well, it's something we can find peace in a little bit. Yeah, don't get me wrong, this whole thing still has me terrified, but it's something, right? Right. But I'm still not hunting for those medals, though. Wait, why? Getting up from his beanbag, he wandered over to the gaming consoles and switched this whole system on, wandering back with a controller. I meant it before when I said that hunting for the medals isn't doing anything for me, but games I like. Let the others busy themselves with the scavenger hunt. I want my player to... Okay, that's cute. That's cute. And we did just that. I went and grabbed the controller and we spent the day gaming. Hell yeah. Sure, there was a break for lunch, but we were in our own little world, hearing very little of the others beyond the times they passed by the door. I didn't know any better. If I didn't know any better, I could have fooled myself into thinking it was just another day spent with my best friend, fumbling about the games we played and having fun all the while. I still wonder, like, how long is this route? I'm starting to worry that, like, we're going to go to till day 30 and get a bad end on day 30. I doubt it, but how long is this route? This is not the best route even. When we all gathered for dinner, it was almost as if there wasn't a homicidal rabbit in the woods. We all sat down and seemed to be in higher spirits in general. Benson wandered in at some point and seemed intent on keeping watch again. As he walked past, though, I noticed that his expression seemed hollow. It was sadness. It was consuming him slowly, and I could tell for the most part he was on autopilot. Having been there myself, I was torn between wanting to help and giving him his space, unsure which would be more helpful. As we ate, it bothered me, seeing him like that. I just wanted to help. Part of me wondered if it was any different with him being so much older, or if he'd shoo me away if I tried to do anything. But when dinner came to a close, I resolved myself to at least try. Benson? He was standing, as stiff as a board, staring out at the wood, back to the house with a gun in hand. He made no effort to address me when I called out. But I edged out of the doorway and called out again. Benson, are you okay? He was stone-faced as he was at dinner. That 1,000-yard stare that seemed to stare right through me. I'm alright, my boy. What do you need? That's kind of the question I was going to ask you, sorta. I don't understand. You need not want for anything, my boy. Want? Maybe. But need? I noticed at dinner that, and... I stepped closer and saw the dampness on his cheeks, the mistiness in his eyes. Whoops. Oh. Come on, Dave. Leave my dignity at the very least. I don't need to be cuddled like some newborn baby. But are you okay? I'm very much not okay. The hand holding his gun trembled and I froze on the spot. Even without him raising it, and it pointed squarely at the earth, it scared me. Oh, wait, yeah, true, he did have some sort of relation with Oswin like that. My son is dead. He may not have been my son by blood. He may not have realized that what familial tie we had was so strong as it was. He, once again, and almost jarringly so, Benson was devoid of emotions again. I apologize. No, it's okay. Reginald is gone. Now too Oswin. I do not know if I'm more terrified of informing Florentia of her brother passing, or what her reaction may be. Will she be gleeful at the meaning of it all? Apathic that he's gone? He cleared his throat. What professional facade he was trying to maintain was slipping away and fast. I guess we can figure it out when we're out safe and sound. Yes, I suppose that's true. Carefully, he wandered closer and tucked his gun away, placing both hands on my shoulders. Dave, I'm so sorry for everything that my family has done to you. No one being should have to suffer like you have. I don't understand. You haven't done anything. It was a weak one, but a smile nonetheless. Oh, how I wish that were true, my boy. Ignorance is bliss, shall we say? I would like to know, but I don't want to push you. You're hurting. I'm more than anyone should know that what that's like even given a couple days ago. Then perhaps someday I shall tell you the story of the Hammond family. I'd like that. But is there anything I can do for you now, Benson? Anything I can do to help, or... I would not want to impose, especially given your dislike of being out here after what happened, but... Would you stay with me just for a little while? Oh, yeah, I can do that. Thank you. It's funny. Part of me wonders what it's like if Oswin were standing here with us now. What would be different? And what part of me can almost feel part of me can almost feel him here. It's silly, isn't it? I've never been one to pay stock into ghosts or spirits and such. But in this moment, the thought is comforting. It's almost like there's another path where Oswin is still alive. Who'd have thunk? Yeah, I sometimes think about my dad in the same way, but it's more dreams, I guess. Oh? Yeah, I guess after it all came out into the open, I'm scared that I might not get to see him again, either. All those bottled up feelings and stuff made those dreams so real. And you feel that now you're moving on, it's like losing him all over again. My chest tightened, and my reply came out in a hoarse croak. Something like that. Perhaps it's best to think of it in a different way. Perhaps it's best to consider it like the training wheels of a bicycle. I don't think I quite understand. You can begin to heal on your own without holding on to the crutch that stopped you from advancing. Apologies, I've never been good at these talks. You might be right though. I don't know, it's something I don't want to think about right now anyway. Very well. Truth be told, the silence is something I'd prefer currently as well. Did you still want me to stay? I can. I fear if you do, that I may do more harm than good. Do not worry, my boy. One step at a time, and things will get better eventually. Okay, well, if you're sure. It was that same fragile smile as before, but he wore it all the same. I am. Sleep well, Dave. I headed back inside and wandered up into my room. The house was quiet, without being silent. The others were around, some chatting, some just minding their own business, but how they moved hinted that they were still there. It eased the tightness in my chest that I didn't realize I was still holding. Closing the door behind me, I sighed out and had a shower. For my own sake, I need to make sure I stayed on top of that, as the routine would keep me focused. Rolling onto my bed, I found myself staring at the ceiling. I was focused, but likely on the wrong thing. It wasn't about survival, but about the day I had in general. I got to spend an actual, enjoyable day with someone I cared about, which made me feel somewhat more relaxed despite everything going on. Reaching over, I pulled out my phone and started to look through the various things I had recorded of Orlando and I spending that time together. Places we've been, food he'd made me try. I went through our conversation. Most of the time it was just excitedly yelling at one another over random things. New paint I'd gotten, or a new cookbook he'd found. Then various pictures swapped back and forth of us just being us. When I switched off the light, I had a stupid smile on my face. I was happy. In that moment, I felt a sense of peace that I realized that I relished, but something was still missing. Maybe I just didn't want the feeling to end, but all I could think of was Orlando being right there with me. Plugging my phone in, I rolled over and tried to get some sleep. I was going to need it for the next couple of days if the feeling in my gut was correct. Day 17. How far does it go? I'm gonna save again, I guess. I started to wake up in the early hours of the morning. Before the sun was up, before the birds outside had started to chirp. Rubbing my eyes as I sat up in bed, I felt troubled, maybe sick. It was hard to really place how I was feeling, but in the strangest way I felt something calling to me. Not literally like when Oswin had contacted me through the intercom, but different. Throwing on some clothes and taking comfort in the warmth in my hoodie gave me I wandered downstairs. No, it only goes up to day 30 because they spend 1 month in the mansion. I half expected to see Benson wandering around, but I figured that he was either staying out of sight or asleep as well. He said he said himself that he wasn't okay, and I knew better than anyone else that it was like to be grieving over a loved one. Me with my dad and him with his son. Maybe, but that's maybe pushing it. The vote was the only thing that could change the situation we were in, I thought. Maybe that's what I wanted to believe. Maybe that was the truth. It was hard to say. But standing in front of it was something else entirely. The tiredness gone completely, with my fingers ready to type in something. Anything in hopes of triggering what had been through multiple times. Come on, there has to be something. Death, maybe? Murder? What about, Oi. Wait a sec. Hold on a second. If that's true... I'm starting to suspect that Path B goes all the way to the end of the game. Because I specifically remember that in the last build of the game that I ever played, Path B didn't reach this section. And this section is the investigation for the next password. This shouldn't happen. So technically, we're at the day that where I'm going to maybe start being blind. So I guess Path B prolonged even faster. Yeah, even longer than... I doubt, because I do specifically remember Thanatos just, like, pulling Dave's arm around to just be like, hey, figure out the password. Now, you should be able to figure the password, right? So, yeah, this meeting shouldn't happen in Path B. At least from the last... Interesting, so I guess Path B is gonna take a longer time. And that's kind of unfortunate because there is a scene in Path A that I really like and I want to show. I will show Path A, but I guess that's gonna come later. Anyways, oi. I nearly jumped, spinning around quickly and scanning the room until I noticed Thanatos casually standing there on the floor in the middle of the room. You, what? Nothing. What are you doing? Well, I was about to ask you the same thing. Wait, why you're out of the lab? Shouldn't you be still, you know? Says who? Way I see it, I can go where I want. For you though. What brings you down here? Don't know. I just thought I'd try some words, see if I could get it to working. A few words, eh? It's gonna be a long day for you if you're planning that. I shook my head quickly. No, just something to settle my head, that's all. Well, good. Can't have you spending all day down here anyway. Why not? You daft. Not gonna get anywhere if you spend all day down here hoping for some answers. I can't tell you that much. Well, what would you suggest? This is the only thing keeping my friends alive. Didn't count Oswin among your friends, eh? That's not what I meant. He's already dead, so... Yeah, you still have to puzzle that one out too. Yeah, the puzzle being you basically have to keep Oswin hidden. Yeah, that's the puzzle. You just have to keep Oswin hidden. Do I? Benson already killed neutralized them, so... Thanatos gestured in the air before shaking his head. If you reckon you have solved it, then that's on you. Times like this I feel like going outside. Is that why you're out of your cage? Like I said, I go wherever I want. Besides, You being down here is doing nothing of us any is doing neither of us any good. Well, where else am I meant to go? Back to bed? I'm not all that tired anymore, and where else would I even start looking for? Well, anything, I guess. Outside. You need to take me somewhere close. You can't go there yourself? Look, I can get around, but I don't want to be spending all day getting there and back. But outside isn't safe. Jack's out there and who knows what else. Or who else. But that's not really worrying to me. That rabbit was bad enough the first time we met. You've met before? And isn't he a hare? There's a difference? Wow. Still, yeah, we've met back when that dragon came wanting to buy the thing you've been playing with. Was he, got a funny way of talking, but beyond that, I don't know. Was all yes boss, no boss the whole time he was here, though. Enough of that, yeah? Take me outside. Hey! Before I had a chance to say otherwise, he was already scrambling up the leg of my pants, moving up to cling to my shoulder and wrapping himself around the back of my neck. Coast is clear upstairs. Get going. But I don't want to go outside. Well, too bad. You're going outside. We're going to the hedge maze. Figure it's been a while since you were there last, eh? Having all the extra weight on my shoulders, it made it difficult to head up the stairs at first. Come on, it's just a rat. Is the rat really that heavy? My god. But by the time I hit the foyer, I had a handle on walking again. Come on, out the door. He could sense how I was hesitating as I reached for the handle leading out to the backyard. But at his urging, I stepped out into the open. I'd been out here before, but never alone. Although the rat on my shoulder counted, it still felt like I was exposed just standing out here. Hedge maze, keep moving. You want to hide from that rabbit? Hide in there. Thanatos, you're heavy. Nah, you just don't exercise enough. You can walk the rest of the way yourself if you want. It'd be your funeral. Take a right path up again, then second left. Okay, so you're my navigator, okay. He guided me through the maze, calling the direction as I needed them almost effortlessly. He was quiet otherwise, even as we stepped into the center of the maze. Well, we're here. Set me down on the statue over there. Cheers. Well, we're out here now, but why? Can't be overheard out here. Last thing I want is the wrong person overhearing and making that a problem for either of us. But all the way out here? Furthest place from the house I can get. Added upside is, you know the way here now, yeah? Orlando led me here once. Right where you were standing was where we found the Aquarius medal. Oh yeah? Florentia was having a bit of a laugh with where she hid those medals. You know where that she hid them? No, lots of things. She didn't hide this one though. That was Benson. Explains why he gave us the clue then. The day was still early, and I stretched as I breathed in the fresh air. So why are we out here? As in, what didn't you want overheard? Right, that. So it turns out that you dying doesn't get me what I want. You messing about downstairs isn't going to get either of us anywhere either. But what do you want? Sorry? Let's just say I'm in a mood to be helpful. Don't really want the chopper squad in the house shooting up the place. Chopper? You don't watch a lot of movies, do you? And you do? I barely know anything about you. You're just a rat. But you can talk and... I don't know. You want to know stuff about me, huh? Well, yeah, like, why did they give you the collar to talk? So I could. And why were you named Thanatos? Oh yeah, that's gonna be... His next line is gonna be kind of bullshitting. Like, I kinda don't want to believe it, but it sorta makes sense. Actually, wait, well, what follows that's like, I am a god of death. Why wouldn't I be named after one? You're not a god, though. Just a pet, right?
My master liked tetanus.
Oh god. Now you listen here, I ain't no pet. Then what makes you a god? You're just... I gestured at him, not sure where else to go with my description. You know what gods have in common? They operate outside the thing they're gods of. Gods of death can't die. Gods of time don't have to worry about the time affecting them. Get it? I guess? But like, what makes you so sure that you can't die? Just know, I feel it in my... Well, I feel it. You think this scar is for show? What's it like to die? Were you not listening? Good thing you're not a mastermind of this whole thing, otherwise you'd fit the bill. I was stunned, staring at him with my mouth agape. You know who's behind this? That got your attention, eh? Well, good. Maybe I'll be willing to throw you a clue or two after you've helped me with something. No, tell me before I help you. We stood there staring at each other in silence. Thanatos seizing me up, it seemed. Look, we do it my way or no way, Junior. You want to use the vote? Then you're going to need my help. No, I know the next password, even without your help. But you know who's behind it? You could just end it all. See, there's the problem and why the original plan was doomed to fail. It's failed? We're still in danger though. Yeah, but not because that was the plan. Remember what I said about being a god of death? You want to be a good mastermind. You can't be part of the victims you're running through the paces. Wait, what? So where does that leave us? The very reason I dragged you out here. You want to go further down this road, then you're going to have to rise to the challenge. It's too early. Thanatos, I don't get it. I want to go inside and get coffee, or even water at this... Dave is just a dummy right now. You have a date tonight with the vote. I checked it before coming to meet you, but there's a password for today. Wait, what? What's the word? Not so fast, Junior. That's not how it works. You figure it out yourself. Plus a little help from me. Or not at all. Okay, fine. If we're doing this, where do we start? First, we should narrow down how the vote works. We want the juicy, traumatic stuff. So tell me, Junior, what scares you? A lot of things if I start thinking, really. More after being at this mention. We'll have to narrow it down somehow. But that's your job, not mine. Sorry? So much for helping. Tell you what, I have something that might interest you, but I'll show you later. Once we're done with this little investigation. Can I have a clue? Nope. Investigate first and maybe I'll give you a clue later. For now, let's head back inside. But we only just got out here. You brought me all the way out here just to say that there was a vision in the vault? You want more than that? Fine. He seemed to look off somewhere, tapping his foot as he thought. His eyes locked on mine after a while before that smirk came back on his face. You know your mom was here a while back. Wait, when? Why? Whoops. Take me inside and I'll tell you. I groaned, picking him back up and setting him on my shoulder. Walking the way back out of the maze, I prodded him for more information, but he remained quiet until we were past the threshold of the back door and back inside the door. So, can you tell me now? Guess I could, but we better make it quick. Why? 'Cause someone might overhear us? Everyone's gonna be up and about for breakfast soon, so yeah. Gotta keep it hush hush. We could move into the sitting room if you want. Nah, here's fine. Just don't go freaking out if I go for your pouch to hide. You're not shy all of a sudden, are you? Me? Nah. I just don't want to be to have a big fuss about your friends asking about why you're talking to a rat. So about my mum. Sure, rocked up one night, wanting to talk about to Oswin about a year ago. Something like that, anyway. Was a right mess too. Rain wasn't helping, but seemed as though the pair knew each other. Well, Mom's a doctor, so that, You think they had some sort of doctor meeting about something important? Why would she come all the way out here, anyway? Only thing that that happened around that time was I trailed up as I set Thanatos down on the stairs, watching him saunter back and forth across the wet space he was allowed on the step he'd been placed on. Yeah, what you're thinking is on the money. So Mom came here to talk about something related to Dad? Don't know, don't care. I got bored after she started begging. Mom never begs. Yeah, well, you tell me if you know any other hyenas named Carol Holloway. I'll wait. That's, We both froze as the sound of people moving about upstairs echoed down to us. We'll pick this up later. Have breakfast and I'll meet you in your room to continue this. Wait. He scurried down the stairs and out of sight in the direction of the basement, leaving me scratching my head. Dave, why are you here? I mean, up this early. So yeah, Thanatos' deal is so fucking weird. Like, he's... he's mysterious and somewhat relevant, even though he doesn't seem relevant. Roswell and Dean looked to one another, confused. What? I'm allowed to be up early, right? Oh, sure. And how much coffee have you had? None? And how long have you been awake? A little while. Again, they looked at one another, not convinced. It's not that bad. I just had some stuff on my mind. I couldn't sleep, but that's it. Not anything bad, I promise. Well, if you're sure. For once it's worth, you seem better than the past couple of days. But if a thing starts weighing you down, let us know, alright? As I nodded, the others were coming down the stairs to join us. Breakfast was uneventful, my mind still locked onto what Thanatos had said. Finally, I wasn't as worried as I thought I would be. There was just a password waiting for me, and I felt that felt more like a goal than just a worry of a potential thing that might not exist. Hey, Dave. What? You doing alright? You're being real quiet even after downing a whole mug of coffee. Are you feeling unwell? Maybe you shouldn't have swallowed so fast. Nah, I'm good, honest. Then why'd you shovel your breakfast into your mouth, then just sit there? Don't get me wrong, seeing you eating with enthusiasm is great, but... I honestly hadn't noticed. Do you have somewhere to be? What? No, I don't think so. Lie. I'm not. The whole table was looking at me curiously, and I groaned, rubbing my face. Okay, I just wanted to get back to my room. I really haven't figured out what I'm doing today beyond maybe giving the vote a try later. Is this a wise idea? What other choice do we have? Well, just don't go alone. Have to stick together, remember? I can't promise that much. Well, good. But I'm gonna head off. See if I can figure out what I want to do today. Before the others could say otherwise, I quickly got up and headed upstairs. Sure did take your time. I wasn't gone that long. But what I was meant to do? Say that I had a talking rat in my room that was telling me about my mom? Do that and they might ship you off in a loony bin to the loony bin. Fat chance of that happening while the road is out. Fair point. So where were we? My mom, she was here, right? Right. Showed up here one night out of the blue. Caught Benny Boy off guard, drenched and upset. That doesn't sound like my mom at all. She's the kind of person who rides motorcycles and picks fights with people. Wait, what? When they do wrong by her, she doesn't cry. Okay, so she's a badass. Okay, neither did until a few days ago, right? Well, that's different. I was going through things. Maybe your mom was too. Either way, she was here. Was late one night, but we're not really close to anything. How can I believe you on her being here? You could tell me anything to get me to cooperate. That's right. I could tell you anything, and you'd have no choice but to believe me. But she was here. Whether you choose to believe it, that is up to you. I wish I could talk to her. Maybe she'd make some time to let me ask why she was here. I sighed out, shaking my head and leaning back against my bedroom door. Or even asking Oswin. I guess there's Benson, but that's not who she spoke to. You have bigger things to worry about right now anyway. Right, the vote. Which means fears. Let me think. I started to pace, Thanatos watching me from the bed and leaning back against one of my pillows. Come on, can't be that hard to think about what shakes those bones of yours. There's just so many. What about you? What are you scared of? Don't look at me. I wasn't made to feel fear. Made? Don't you mean born? Same thing to me. Some people feel it. I don't. Simple as that. I was about to leave it at that, but he seemed to continue on his own, looking troubled. Yes, if I had to say though. You know, hypothetical like. Being trapped, maybe. What, like in a cage? Is that why you break out? Nah, like a metaphor. I just like my freedom. I don't envy your situation though. You've been trapped in a cage ever since you start messing with the vote. Well, it's scary, knowing that if I screw things up, my friends could die. I don't want to be responsible for that, but here we are. What choice do I have? That's just how the die was cast, eh? Rules was simple enough to follow that you can figure this one out. Not the first, not the last either. What do you mean? Like I said, rules are simple. You want the word to the vote. You have to think about what could traumatize you. What would scar you so much that it lasts over time and space, yeah? But that could be anything. Jeez, you're dense. Think, Junior. For starters, my name isn't Junior, it's Dave. I'll call you what I want. Focus. But you're asking the impossible. Where do I even start? Start with your friends. Already bailed them out once before, right? Is that a clue, or are you just telling me what I should be doing? You know what the word is, right? He just shrugged, flashing me that smug grin. Fine. I'm taking a moment to grab a shower to pass the time until they're done with breakfast. You're in the shower multiple times a day. Why? I just get self-conscious about how I smell. Invest in something for that rather than bathing. That is a weird sentence. Shooting him a look, I went and showered anyway. Maybe I was being paranoid, but one thing I remember Dad teaching me is that it's important for hyenas to stay clean. Either way, it couldn't hurt, right? About half an hour later, I was ready to head out again and wandered downstairs, Thanatos in my hoodie pouch staying out of sight. Although the noticeable bulge meant I was carrying something and I needed to think of an excuse to give out just in case. Okay, so now I need to find my friends. They're done with breakfast, so they're around here somewhere, right? Who are you talking to? Whoa, Roswell, where did you come from? I've been around. Still figuring out what I should be doing today, but nothing's really jumping at me. Oh, and judging from that reaction, you've already got plans, right? Am I that obvious? A little. But I don't think that's a bad thing. There are others I can ask, so it's no big deal. Sorry, I want to investigate this thing, just to put my mind at ease. Oh, don't let me stop you. I think Haas has gone out to find Benson, and Dean and Sal are having a chat about something. To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to what they were saying. What about Ty and Orlando? Oh, they're cutting Roswell off was the sound of Tyson yelling upstairs, followed soon by the sound of Orlando yelling back. That sounds bad. That was Ty's angry yell, so I don't think they're in danger, but I'll go check it out. Want to come with? Knowing that Orlando can breathe fire and Tyson can, well, be Tyson, I'll pass. Oh, well, remember we should be sticking together, so if you're not going to come with, where are you going? Probably go find Huss and Benson. See what they're up to. Yet another yell came from upstairs. You should get going before they tear the house down. Stay safe, Roswell. See you later. I breathed a sigh of relief as I hit the top of the stairs, half-cradling Thanatos still hidden away. He hadn't said anything, and was almost deathly still. I was about to ask him if he was okay before yet another yell drew me back to the rec room. I told you, it's too fucking loud. It's already on 10%. If I made it quieter, I won't be able to hear anything. Looking between the two, Tyson seemed irritated, tugging at his ears and snarling as he spoke. He seemed a little standoffish at breakfast, but I hadn't really been paying attention. I don't care, turn him down more. You couldn't always just leave. You're lucky Dave's here, otherwise I'd punch your fucking face in. Tyson, what's gotten into you? My words caught in my chest and my stomach lurched. My vision started to blur and Tyson's response came out sarcastically at first before trailing off, his expression turning to concern. Then it all went black. What? I felt like I was floating, or... Wait. What? I don't remember this. Or maybe it was just vague unconsciousness and trying to remember what made me black out. Was Tyson alright? Was Orlando? Even Thanatos? Oi. My hearing returned first, soon followed by the feeling of something plush underneath me. Oi, get up. First you nearly crushed me, then you just lay there sleeping. My face hurt, and as Thanatos reeled back to slap me across the cheek again, I flinched, sitting up quickly and shifting him away from me. Finally. Ow. How long have you been hitting me? My face really hurts. Lost count. Figured eventually you'd wake up. What about how long I was asleep for? What happened? You tell me. You were talking to your wolf friend, and then the next thing I know, you're landing face first on the floor. And I got here? Tyson and Orlando carried you here. Or rather, Tyson did, and then Orlando made sure you were all comfy-like. Normally Tyson would do that too. Yeah, well, he seemed to be in a mood, didn't he? He was yelling about the volume of the television, I think. Seemed that way. I didn't even hear it as we walked into the room, so that couldn't have been it, right? Beats me. This is your investigation. You are still able to, yeah? Yeah, I'll be fine. Well, the way I see it is, you at least have a lead now. Yeah, God, my head is killing me for some reason. It's real bad. And what do you expect me to do about it? Did I land on my head when I blacked out, or... Was in your pocket, so I don't know. Don't think so. I got up of bed, rubbing my head as I stood. I should go check on Orlando and Tyson. Figure out this password thing. Who are you planning on talking to first? Does it matter? Guess not. But you want to talk to both. Consider it that clue. So that's the investigation thing, and honestly, it's kinda obvious. But I will keep quiet now and make you wonder. Orlando, he's probably freaking out, so it'd be better to make sure he's not doing that first. Doesn't bother me, either way. When I got to the rec room, I could hear the sound of a game being played along with the sound of muttering coming from inside. No surprise that when I entered, I could see Orlando focused on the screen before him. Hey, Orlando. Dave! He spun around to greet me quickly, half fumbling with the controller to pause his game before scrambling to his feet to rush over to me. What happened? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Blacking out is not fine, Dave. You didn't just black out, but you were solidly unconscious for... How long have you been up for? A little bit. Then you've been unconscious for hours. You should still be in bed resting. But if I was in bed for a few hours, what good will more bedtime do for me? Orlando huffed, throwing his arm up and shaking his head. Do you at least know what caused it? I don't really. It's just something that's been happening more frequently lately. You've been blacking out and no one's been noticing? No, I mean, just feeling a bit off. Not like sick, just strange. It's maybe got something to do with the vote or what's been going on. I just don't know. Could be stress. Have you been messing with the vote lately? A little, but like nothing more than normal, I think. Why? How much is a little? Like a few words, but that's it. I figured what would be the harm if I just lucked into something, right? You're not Roswell, Dave. Don't expect to have his luck just because it'd be convenient. Although, boy, wouldn't be convenient right now. What was it like for you, using the vote? Not the vision part, but the rest. Scary? What about after? Whoops. After? You know, I don't really remember. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I think. Obviously, when it happened, it was kind of like blacking out, but it was maybe only for a couple minutes, like a hallucination. And nothing else? Should there be? What have you been through? Mostly the same, although, I don't know. Something's not adding up, but I just can't place what it is. Between what and what? If anything's like a puzzle, let me have a go. Well, Tyson was acting odd when I found you too. Something's going on. And this has something to do with the vote? Maybe? I don't know. It just seems that every time I've gotten something out of it, people have been odd right before. Sorry, I can't say I've noticed, but I'll take your word for it. I just thought he was back to his old ways. Would you have done something if I hadn't shown up? I was getting a little worked up, sure. Not sure if that's just because I'm fed up with his behavior now that I know better, or just, I don't know. As scary as he was, it wasn't like he was a monster or anything. So, if he was, you'd probably try something like Wolfsbane. Although getting him to eat a poisoned cupcake would probably be hard without risking Roswell or Dean eating it first. You tried to poison before anything else? That's, well, I don't own a gun. And you just casually have poison on hand? Well, no, but I might be able to find a silver fork or something around here to, you know. Orlando made a half-hearted stabbing motion while I groaned and rubbed my face. There are plenty of games about taming monsters and you default to killing them. Easy for you to say given you tamed him already. It's not hard to be nice to someone. You want to go the road of treating him like a werewolf, whereas I treated him like a puppy? What? I grumbled, quickly looking behind me to see if Tyson was anywhere around to catch that. You're not scared of him, are you? He's not... At least I hope he isn't a werewolf. Would explain a bit, though. If you don't want to annoy him further, I'd probably keep quiet on things like that. I honestly don't know if he'd respond better or worse to that over, well, you know. He stormed off ages ago. I don't think he'd be wanting to come back here if it was too loud for him earlier either. Think he's cooled off by now? I'll talk to him. I haven't gotten around to seeing him after I've woken up yet either. So solid maybe, but I guess I'll find out. Well, if you're sure you're okay enough to do that, then I won't stop you. Or if you really wanted, you could just hang out with me. Room for one more on the beanbag, and there's a player 2 slot with your name on it. Thanks, but I'll pass. I should really check on Tyson at least once. You know, just in case. We should really be sticking together. But I guess that's just how it goes. If you change your mind, you'll know where I'll be though. Orlando wandered back over to his game, and I nodded to myself, wandering back to my room to mull things over. Okay, so... he didn't have much to say, did he? You think so? Tell me one thing that that told us what would be hopeful. I'll wait. Well, he did say that blacking out happened when he used the vote. True. He did pass out on the floor when he got the vote working too. You saw it happen? I watched the whole thing. Word went in. He wobbled up a bit and fell over. Woke up some minutes later spooked. That's basically what happened to me. But I wasn't at the vote, so why did I black out? Who knows? Delayed reaction maybe. Why do you say that? That thing Orlando saw isn't due to happen for a bit anyway. He's fretting about something that hasn't happened yet. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I know what the things are you can see. Know the words too. That's literally impossible. They're coded in with DNA, aren't they? Maybe. I'm just special. Or you're lying just to make me worry? I could do any number of things to make you worry without needing to make something up. Well, tell me then. Okay, I think that's the bullshit line he's gonna say. Or maybe, no, okay, never mind. He doesn't say it yet. My god, say the fucking bullshit line already. You have other things to do first. Get moving and I'll tell you later. Or you could tell me now. Well, I guess if you really want to know, then you'll just have to wait. What a fucking tease. I wandered out and followed the sound of angry muttering upstairs to the conservatory. Ty? What? He spun quickly to look me over, breathing hard. Just seeing if you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Fuck off. I mean, fuck off, please. No. Something's bothering you. And like, you haven't snapped like this in a long time. What happened? What's wrong? Nothing. Just a headache. What's wrong with you? Whoops. Did I skip something? Okay. I'm fine, honest. Just tired. That's fucking bullshit and you know it, Dave. I mean it. I'm fine. He stumped over, grabbing me roughly by the shoulder and narrowing his gaze as he leaned in to check. You passed out and expect me to believe you're just fine. I do. I promise, Ty. It's just, I don't know what it is. And maybe I just ate too fast or something. Maybe everything's just catching up to me. You're fucking lying to me, I swear. Swear what? That you'll hit me? Look, I'm worried. I don't know what's going on, and all I know is this headache is damn bad. What kind of headache? The kind that makes your head hurt? What kind of question is that? Well, I've been having headaches too. Maybe not as bad, but they're not fun. Oh yeah? What are they like? My head starts to hurt, but they go away pretty quick. It's weird though, mostly random, but mostly like whenever I think about the vote. Maybe it's stress. Mine's different. He cut in the moment I stopped talking. Like, most mornings I feel like there's a drill up against my skull. That bad? Why? If I knew why my head was ringing like this, do you think I'd be bullshitting you right now? He seems crazed, almost feral. He was snippier than normal for him. And that hunch in his shoulder wasn't helping him image. I didn't quite understand what was happening, but something wasn't right. Would sleep help? I don't fucking know. Maybe? Well, you're swearing more than usual, so either you're hungry or tired. He hooked an arm around my neck and checked, grinding a knuckle into my head as he held me in a vice grip against my his chest. Okay, I'm sorry. Stop. Relenting for a few moments more, he eventually let me go and stepped back while I tried to fix my already messy fur in vain. Yeah, maybe I'm just tired. Could be the bed, could be... fuck if I know. If it's your bed, did you want to use mine? Just see if that helps? Nah, I'll just go find a quiet room to lounge in. If it's the bed's, then just using another one isn't going to help. Well, if you're sure, the offer is there though. Yeah, I know. Thanks. At least my head isn't hurting so bad now. Sometimes it's real bad during the night, but I'll manage. Rest up and we'll talk later. Before I do, you sure you're alright? Yeah, why? 'Cause something's bothering you. I can tell by your nose that you've got something running through your head. Tell me. You know what? Forget it. I don't want to be lied to right now, and I doubt you want to tell me the truth anyway. It's fine. Sorry, Ty. Soon, maybe. Whatever. I stepped aside as he wandered out of the conservatory and out of sight, breathing out. So, it was a headache. You really think that? I don't know what to think, but if he's in pain, I hope he feels better soon. Better question. Think that's a clue to whatever it is you need to figure out? Who knows? Could be, might not be. Surprised he bailed before you had a chance to spill the beans, though. Like he'd believe I had a talking rat in my pocket. Might not have been. Might have if you showed him. Probably for the best this way anyway. Tell me something. You know about the Vault visions and stuff, right? Yeah, why? And you know who has and hasn't used the Vault? Of course. Can Tyson use it? Could that be where his headaches are coming from? Sorry to disappoint you, but no dice. He's not coded in. Well, who is? Why do you want to know? I just want to double check. Easy. Few people are, but not everyone has accessed it. You and Orlando have both gotten something out of it. Others not so much despite being coded in. Really, who else? Doesn't matter. Relates to the back to the testing of when it was being built. Neither of the other two have used it, and you can take that to the bank. If it doesn't matter, then why not just tell me anyway? Fine. It was Oswin and his sister. Happy? Neither of them have used it at all? How did you know that? One of them tried, but didn't get the word right. Gave up soon after, and I'll give you 2 guesses as to who that was. Okay, that's okay, but how do you know? I have my ways. I was around at the time it was brought online. I gave him a funny look, frowning. And how old are you again? Last time I heard anything about long rats live, it was only a few years. What did I tell you? Gods of death can die. Right, well, I've asked both of them, so what happens now? We're done. Now you get the joy of seeing if you can make something out of it. Wait, already? You didn't help by passing out. Quickly running out of time here, Junior. There's still a lot of the day left. And I don't care. I have things I need to do, so get moving. With Thanatos in my pocket, I started to head downstairs. I was nervous, a little worried about what was waiting for me to down in the basement. Hey, hello, Dave. Oh, Roswell, where did you come from? Oh, you know, around. How did hanging out with Haas and Benson go? Oh, well enough, I suppose. Benson was helping Haas with guns, I think. Guns? Like, more than one? Something about feeling comfortable around them just in case the worst happens? So Benson taught you two how to shoot, or was helping Haas at least? I'd rather not touch the gun if I can avoid it. The prospect of the recoil worries me. Then what chance do the rest of us have if we have to worry about recoil? Oh, that's easy. Benson said there were lower caliber ones just in case, but he didn't have one on him. Something about his own personal one being a bit too sentimental to let me try. Maybe I should consider it, if only for, well, the worst case scenario. I wouldn't say you need to worry about that so much. Maybe we can get you a knife or something instead, just like it Pat's C and D. What about you though? What are you up to by yourself? Oh, nothing. Nothing, huh? Did Orlando and Tyson thing sort itself out eventually? Sort of. Tyson went to go to have a nap and Orlando ended up getting to play his game in peace, so... Which means you're about to go down the vote. What? How can you tell? To be honest, when you said you were investigating, that seems to be the only logical conclusion. After all, what else would drive you to want to investigate literally anything at this point? I have people I want to keep safe and alive, Roswell, including you. So long as your plan isn't to stop trying to save the rest of us, that's fine by me. No point in you wasting away when there might not be any danger to begin with. Right. But I guess while I've got you here, what sort of things you fear? Excuse me? Just, you know, in case it gives me an idea of what to try. Instead, why don't you tell me more about this blackout I heard about? Did Orlando tell you? Something to that effect. I'm fine, honest. Just stress, I guess. That's what it's got to be. I don't really buy that, but alright. You'd know better than me anyway. What was happening at the time? Just Tyson and Orlando fighting. It was strange, nothing that had happened before, even before the mention. Is it something to be concerned about? You say it's stress, but until someone can tell me I'm sick, then that's all it could be, right? So long as it wasn't something more untoward, I guess you're right. Still. He scratched his chin before shaking his head and sighing out. Well, best of luck downstairs. See you at dinner. Sure. See you later, Roswell. After I watched Roswell disappear upstairs, I sighed too. But that's when I heard Thanatos snickering from inside my hoodie pouch. Okay, Thanatos, talk. What's so funny? You really let him get away with that? Get away with what? He didn't want to tell you because he was what he was afraid of, did he? You didn't want to call him up on that? Well, I guess I just assume that if someone changes the subject, they don't want to talk about it. So you're not an idiot, just a bloody naive. What's that supposed to mean? It's just being polite. Fine, suit yourself. We have more important things to do now anyway. He escaped my hoodie and strode up to the large door in front of us, looking it over. What do you think? About what? About the password. Moment of truth after all. I approached the keypad, fingers hovering over the keys. Well, go on. Where would I even begin though? Can tell you that whatever you need to put relates to those friends of yours. You know, the two that you walked in on. Tyson and Orlando. Got it in one. Sorry. What you said earlier, knowing about what's in the vault, how is that possible? Call it the sex machina. Okay, I think that's where he says his bullshit line. Turning to the keypad with a frown, I tried to think it over. If you're not gonna be any help, let's see. If the vision related to Tyson and Orlando, how would Thanatos know? Could I even trust him? He said before that he had no reason to make something up. Why he knows wasn't as important as him knowing. If anything, that's the one thing that had remained constant throughout the day. There was no changing the fact that I was here, in front of the vault until in front of the vault now. Though I may as well try putting something in. You're doing some thinking, huh? Shh, I need to concentrate. Fear, trauma. These were the things that seemed to constantly be thrown in my face whenever the vault came up. But if those were my fears and my traumas, how was I meant to know which one was the strongest? Especially if it's something yet to happen. Well, this is dire. You're not helping. You bring me down here and you put me on the spot to put something in, like I'm meant to know what it is. It's your genetic memory. Why is it my fault? You're a monster keeping this from me. My friends could die if I don't get this right. If I told you, it wouldn't happen. Not as if this is the first time around the block, eh? Not my first time? Yeah, so now he's breaking like kind of the fourth wall with the timelines thing. You've done this before. You sure you don't know what to put in there? I looked to the keypad, to the input panel, and I felt a sharp pain in my head. Massacre. Back then, it was just something that Benzer has said offhandedly, but it was enough to make me worry. If I saw what happened, or what would have happened had I not known, but now... That's literally the best you can do? That password had expired days ago. The last time it was something about Benson said, I think. About sleepwalking. But he had said it all the time, so one of them must have said it. Tyson was just annoyed about something about a headache, which meant... Well, honestly, I'm gonna throw in the hints there. It's something Orlando said. A slight pang ran through my head, and for some reason made me think I was on the right track. But what was it that he said? What works connect him and Tyson? I don't know. I can't do this. Then whatever happens is your fault. Your cowardly dragon, friend, and that feral wolf too. He's not feral. You sure about that? If I was certain I couldn't move fast enough, I'd punt him across the room, but I didn't want the risk getting bitten. Come on, Junior. Time's ticking. Breathing in through my nose, I brushed my fingers over the buttons on the panel. I caught a glimpse of my reflection on screen. Figuring now was as good as a time as any to try and to input something. So, we're finally at the point where I am blind. I do not know anything else that happens beyond this point. I only know the next password, which is this password, but I don't know what happens after. I will input the password just to reveal the password, because you should be able to guess it about now. But I'm not going to I'm not gonna go through the password thing first. I'm going to see the bad end first, but the password this time is werewolf. So yeah, the next password is werewolf. Anyways, continuing on, finally, I do not know what's coming up, so I'm excited to see where this is going. I was hesitating, and I didn't know why. So yeah, then the next password is werewolf. Wait, wait, what is the? Oh yeah, that is the password. Save. I whined, backing away from the panel and almost tripping over my feet. I can't. I don't know. I quickly looked to Thanatos, who seemed bored more than anything else. That's a shame. Help me, please! I told you, kid. That's not how this works. But they could... Someone could... Guess we'll just have to see what happens, huh? How could I not worry? What could there be more important than figuring out that word? I was going to go get something while you were unconscious, but give me a couple minutes and I'll go get it. He scurried away without hearing me half beg him for him to stay. I was alone in that room, spinning around so desperately try anything else that came to mind. Again and again I got that same chime, and eventually I just clung to it, sobbing in fear that I just doomed someone to die just because I was too stupid to think of a word. I don't know how long he'd been standing there before I noticed the odd squeaking coming from beneath me. I'm back. Got something for you. He kicked what looked to be a card towards me, and I knelt down to pick it up, wiping my eyes with my sleeve as I did so. But when I saw what he'd passed to me, I froze, a whine starting in my throat, but catching before it could come out as a sound. What is this? It's a license. It's my dad's license. Yeah, well, he must have left it there when he came to visit. I stared blankly at him, waiting for an explanation. Let me see. Must have been about a year ago. Maybe a little more than that. Showed up in Civvies, had a chat with Oswin, and left later that night. Looked grim as all get up though. Dad was here. Mom was here. Why? What did they want to talk to Oswin about? Blankly I stared at the license in my hands, knowing full well that Oswin was dead now too, and with it any reasonable chance to know what they talked about unless Benson knew about it too. Don't know what you expect me to tell you. I'm just a rat that can talk, not a mind reader. Rats can't normally talk, so now you've got to know something. What if I'm not a rat? My eyes narrowed, pulling back a little, feeling wary of what he was getting at. If you're not a rat, then what are you? Do you know the role of a lab rat, Junior? They aren't born as incidentally as a normal kid, no. They are made. Careful genetic work, so there's always that same consistent spread of data to test on, yeah? White. Pure white. Like the coats of the scientists that use them up and toss them away. But you're not white. That's right. I'm different. Idea was the same. Made different though. But anything like those other rats wouldn't cut it. Hell, you sure you're even talking to me? What does that even mean? I watched as he wandered over to the large vault door and casually leaned against it. fact is, I can't die because I was never alive. Can't be a god of death if I'm part of the system, can I? But you've been a part of that very system how many times now? I've gone and lost the count. I don't understand. What are you? Deus Ex Machina. I am the god in the machine. I am the vote. Yeah, that's the bullshit line that I remember. I am the vote. The declaration fell into silence as I wasn't exactly sure how to respond. What? No fanfare? Fine. Killjoy. But how can you be the vote? You're just that... I just stood on the panel I'd been messing with, and then at him, then back once more. Yeah. Think of it this way. I'm like the governing system behind how it works, yeah? This just lets me get around and talk. But what about the jammer? There aren't any wires attached to you. My rat cage may as well be a Faraday cage. One of those jammers aren't going to knock out every signal, so I can still get around so long as I don't go too far. And this was all put together by Oswin and his sister? Keeping it simple? Yeah. Gotta admit, I expected a bit more of a reaction out of you. Well, how do I know you're telling the truth? About anything? I wasn't kidding when I said that I don't need to make stuff up. I remember everything programmed in, everything that I've seen with this body, and every interaction that happened in this room. Wait, everything? How much of everything? Everything? As long as the door stays closed, I stay online. Even if if I'm online, I can see everything. But if you're saying you can see everything, then that door never opens? Bingo. That door hasn't opened and never will. I sighed, slumping on the spot. Well, great. There goes any point in hunting for the meadows then. If you can't see the future, then what's the point? It's the past, Junior. We just keep running around this wheel until the universe implodes, then we do it all over. Then what's the point if we're doomed to just repeat everything over and over, and you're saying we never open the door, then why bother? Well, what? There's a possibility that I could be wrong. Wrong how? So there's a catch with how this Fucking hell. Are they seriously going to reference freaking 999 with morphogenic resonance? My god, this shit again. Aha! I didn't expect that again. So there's a catch with how this morphic resonance stuff works, right? How you need to live through it, yeah? To explain what happens in 999 with the resonance thing, you need to be in a life or death scenario in order to communicate between timelines, or between time and space, basically. Because basically, actually, spoiler alert for 999, at the end, our protagonist is, well, basically the entire game is about like the protagonist communicating with the person that lives in the past. But that person in the past is in great danger and needs the protagonist to save him. To save her, or yeah. So, yeah, you need to be in a life or death scenario. Makes sense so far? Guess what I'm saying? That if I have died, then I wouldn't remember it. There's something else that's bothering me about this too. What? If you really remember everything you say you do, then why do you act the way you do towards me? If you remember every time we've met and everything like this conversation, then I don't know. Oh, that all? I just like messing with you. Wow, that's... Hey, you try reliving the same conversation multiple times every second. This just keeps keeps things entertaining for me. So you're really not a rat. You're just a robot. Pretty much, yeah. One part taxidermy rat, one part endoskeleton, and one part wildly modified open source Fuck. No. It's gotta be a freaking AI. Go away. Go away. So you're like that voice assistant thing on cell phones. If you removed the influence of a neuroscientist, then sure. Still, Florencia has way more than just that. Gifted child that gave Oswin a run for his money, that's for sure. I looked at the card in my hand before looking back at Thanatos. So, you know what's behind this door too? Of course! I don't know if I can believe you. This isn't something that just robots like you don't exist outside of televisions or movies. What? You don't think that given enough time something like me could be made? I'm proof that it had happened, all right. But why make you at all? Why make you talk? Having some great machine to see all the versions of our past is one thing, but making that same machine be able to think just... Oh, that. Maybe don't try and combine the two. I didn't ask to be given a body and some level of free will. It was all because of certain someone who was lonely and wanted someone to talk to. Who? Oswin? Who else? Well, Benson maybe? Oh, you think he and I might get along? Somehow I doubt it. Well, you're right. No sense of fun, so I don't know why I bother. Although his reactions sometimes are priceless. I don't want to get on his bad side, but I feel like I might not have a choice depending on how well he's going to react to, well, this. I waved the license around one last time before it found its way into my pocket. Who knows? And I sure don't care one way or the other. He left it at that, turning around and scurrying away and out of sight before I could get another word in. Speaking with Benson was all I had left, really. At least as far as leads went, because otherwise I was a bit stuck for what to be doing on the back of what I'd spent the day doing. Okay. So, with that, I'm going to leave it here for today. So, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Take care.